In this video, we're going to add the text. So just to refresh your mind, oh, sorry about that. I'm going to turn audio skimming off so I don't get that noise, and I'll turn it back on. Now, some of your computers probably don't turn blue, but blue is on, white is off. This is video skimming. That means if I move my mouse, when it's blue, it will skim over the video. There's that line. This is audio skimming. So even though I can skim video, again, skimming is just moving the mouse. Dragging the playhead will do the same thing, but it's a lot harder to actually click the playhead and grab. Otherwise, you just move your mouse. And if you don't want that, turn that off, and you can't do that. But I at least like video skimming. Most of the time, I like audio skimming, unless I'm creating a video. Snapping is important. Snapping is when the playhead or the skimmer will actually snap to an edit point or a marker. There's a bunch in here. So I'm going to turn audio skimming off, video skimming on, and snapping will be on. My inspector's hidden. I'm looking at my favorites right now, and I've added a few more. I've finished all this up. The last thing we did in the previous part of this was to select all of these here and take a screenshot. We're done with that, but I want to go and look at what the next thing is that we're doing. So I'm going to click on Chrome, and this is overwhelming. I know, I understand. It's very detailed in steps. Some people may like the details, but I'm going to go over a few of these, and then I'll demonstrate it, okay? So I've already made sure I've got 3 clips of each character. Snapping is turned on. You can turn it on by pressing the N key. I'll put the playhead in the right spot. Show titles and generators. I'll show you all that. And we're going to look for something called basic title. One thing I did not do is I did not install this font. So let me go to that right now. And that will be, I'm going to go to module. I want to go to step 1. So easier for me to hit modules, and I'll go to maybe right here. Go to Friends Civil War, and I'm going to download this font. So here I'm going to click. Is it doing anything? Oh, good. So I'm going to download it to my desktop. Actually, yeah, what the heck. Download it to my desktop, and it's right here. And we're just going to open it. So if you see it right here, you can just click this and it will open. If you can't find it, look on your desktop where it was. But I'm just going to click this, and that is the same as double-clicking the zip file. So here we go. I'm going to click this. It's going to open it. You'll see that it's expanding. Oh, and it expanded. So now I got to find out where it is. I'm going to go to my desktop. Let me get a new. It's on my other screen. So here's my folder. I'm going to go to desktop. Here's the font, but it decompressed somewhere. I'm going to sort by name. Oh, come on. I have a lot of stuff here. Oh, so here is the font. Look for something after you decompress this. So if I double click on this, I'll do it again and you'll see. Let me double click. And that's this thing. So Gabriel Weiss, whatever the name is, Gabriel Weiss font, something like that. I don't need the second one. I'm going to delete. This one here, you double click it to install. So double click. It opens the font installer. It looks like this. It tells me I haven't done it yet, so I'm going to hit install. And yeah, it might take a second. All right, it's installed. Let's see. So I'm going to close, quit that. That's the font book installer. I don't need this anymore. We did all that. I'm going to go. You don't need to worry about this because we've got it done in the step 4. So I'm going to go to modules, go back to step 4 for adding text, and you will see, okay, I'll show you this, click and drag, blah, 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 blah. you need to get the actors' names that you're using. So for example, I went ahead and did this already, and I put them into a text file. The title is going to be this, and I'll show you where to get that. The actors that I have, the first three are these, and I checked the spelling. I just copied and pasted from the internet from here, and then in the closing, this. So let me come back. So there's the, let's see there. We're going to do the actors font to size 96. We've got this font installed. We will open the inspector, and we're going to come to this and all that. So let me go to the step we're on. Oh yeah. Scroll down. So right here, I have what you need to use for the title. And let's take a look at our video. So right here, let me turn off. I'm going to turn off the visibility for these. So I'm going to select them and hit the letter V. And then I want to make sure I turn on the video for the Friends video. So I'm going to select it and hit V. And I'm just going to scroll through. I'm actually going to turn snapping off for a second. And I'm going to show you, we have the opening, and here, right here in this area is where we're going to have the text Civil War. All right. So we're just going to put that. Let me see if I can put it like that. We'll have Civil War right here. And there's a letter, a space, a dot, a space, a letter, a dot, a space. So anyway, so it's spaced out like that. And you just copy and paste from that Canvas page. And then after that, we're going to go over here, and somewhere right around here, we start showing the three people. So from here over to here is going to be one person. And then we've got the three, and then we've got the three boys, and so on. And at the very end, we're going to have, at the same time, created by, and you'll notice created by is a smaller size than this. All right. And you're going to have created by and then one name. So that's why if we come back to Canvas here, in the closing part, you're going to create two separate titles. One is going to be 65-point font. The other is going to be 120, which I'm not sure why this says your like that. I'll fix that. I thought I fixed it already, but anyway, this will be my name, created by my name, whatever. So let's, I don't like that, stupid Microsoft. Okay, we'll put that down there, and we will come back to the video. So let's wrap our head around what the text is going to be. Basic title is going to be 96-point font. We in this font here, and we're going to, it says we're going to position the font to about negative 280 in the Y value. I will show you what that means. So I'm going to come back over here. I installed the font, but I don't know if it actually took hold. Sometimes when you install a font, when a program's running, you have to quit the program and come back for it to recognize the font. So right here, this is titles and generators. Click on this. Then in the titles, just have this selected and look for basic. Now you could just scroll down, but just type in, there's basic title, but you could just type in basic right here. And it will, you want the ones called basic title. And I'm going to turn snapping back on, and I'm going to drag it right to the beginning of the Jennifer Aniston. So right here, notice my playhead snaps. Once it snaps, I'm going to click, and the playhead will be right there. That'll help me get this right. I'm going to click and drag this down on top right there, and make sure the left side of my title is right there. And I'm going to skim over to the end right here. And I'm actually going to shorten this to be right there at the end. So notice this is covering these three gaps. I'm only going to do one right now because I want to get one the way I want it. There's no point in duplicating this yet. So I want to get this title looking like that. But it's going to be over the top of video that is more wide on the screen. All right, so that's a few things to consider. I'm going to put my playhead back over here. It said we're going to lower the text to about 280 in the Y value. So Change the font size 96. We're going to change all this. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to get the name. First one is Robert Downey Jr. I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to come back over to Final Cut. I'm going to double click on this title. And you notice it's good right here. I do want the inspector open. So click the inspector right here. Might take a sec for that to open. Okay, and I'm going to click on the words area. This right here, actually. Yeah, and here's the text. And I'm going to replace that stuff with Robert Downey Jr. Right there. And I'm going to select it. And I'm going to go maybe to here. Let's see. Oh, I got to scroll down. Okay. I want the size to be, what was it, 96? So I'm going to type 96 there. And I want the Gabriel Weiss font. G is up here somewhere. Oh, right there. Okay. And then it says the Y value. Let's see. Rotation, position. I think it said we're going to change this to negative something. Yeah, negative 280. I'm just going to click right in here and type in a negative 280 and hit enter. And that's there. All right. So now that's right over the top. And it says Robert Downey Jr. Now that's the difference is, if you will, if I have this, let's see. I'm going to hide this. So I click on it, hit V. You'll notice this has a drop shadow. So we want a drop shadow. I'm going to turn the V back on, come back here, see how much the drop shadow was supposed to be. Okay, we're going to scroll down, drop shadow, and we'll set opacity, distance 15, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so right over here, I've got this selected. I'm going to scroll down. This may not be as big for you. Like I've got this text box pretty big. I don't know why. But I'm going to come down and I'm going to keep scrolling. And I believe drop shadow is right here. I do have to see more. So put your mouse over this and hit show. Then come down some more. And the opacity goes up to 100 and something was 5. Distance is 15. All right, so the distance of the text, let's see, I really want to hide this thing. I'm going to hit V on that, and I'm going to turn these back on so you can kind of see Robert Downey Jr. over the top. And I'm going to set the drop shadow to 15, or the distance, I'm sorry. I have to hit show again. Where's my distance? Let's drag that to 15. There we go. And you can see what effect that has. You can see the shadow moving, but 15 will make everyone have the same size. Leave it black. And now when it's over a light surface, drop shadows are helpful because, and the text being white shows up on a dark background, but if you had a light background, then the shadow helps it stand out. And I think that's all we need to do for that text. Let me just look at this. Oh yeah, we want to add a transition. So we've got this right. Now we want the transition to come in with a little bit of a cross dissolve. Okay, so let's do that. Let's see. Okay, so what that is, I come over here. The transitions are right here. and we look for in the transitions, you'll see a group called dissolves, get cross dissolve and put it right on top of the transition. The text. So don't drop it anywhere else. So watch, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to put this right on it. You'll see how that outlined right there. So make sure your title highlights with a white circle around it. You do that, and now we have this. You see how, let me turn snapping off, and you'll see how the text gradually comes on, right? Okay, it gradually comes on. Okay, so now that we have the transition here, we want to change the length. Right now, this transition is going a little too slow, and we're going to click, make sure I've got my arrow tool selected. I'm going to click once on the gray, not up here, but click on the gray right there, and then come up and you're going to double click on this number and you're going to hit a 4. Now what that means is 4 frames, and just hit enter. All right, so that's a really short, you see how just 4 frames between 1, 2, 3, 4 it comes in, and then on this one I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to select it so it's yellow, double click on the number here and hit 4 and enter. So it's pretty small. All right, so it fades out. Now this will be on normally. Let me turn that visible and this one visible, and you will see that it'll start to come on. There's a slight little fade in, and here's a slight little fade out. All right, let me just double check, make sure we got everything. And that's pretty much describing steps 17, 18, 19, 20, and this is for the transition out, okay? Okay, so now we've got it where we want. Here's where, let's see, yeah. So now we've done 1. You want to make sure you do 1 exactly the way you want it first. That's what you want to do. Now I'm going to turn snapping back on. And I am going to, let's see, the next one is going to go from here to here to here to here. But I'm going to copy Robert Downey Jr. And it's very important. You will get really mixed results if you don't click on the right thing. If I click on the blue part here, that will do something different if I drag. So if I drag this out, I've just pulled the text out from those transitions. I'm going to undo that. You need to click on the gray bar above it. So that gets the entire package. And then I'm on my keyboard, I'm going to hold down the option and I'm going to click on this gray area, click and drag, and I'm making a copy. I'm just dragging it off to the side, okay? So this is a copy. I am going to close this window because I need more space here. So I'm going to click that, and I'm going to turn all of these back on. Make sure they're all visible now. Select them and hit V. And I'm going to figure out where I'm going now. So I've got this one, and this one. Put my playhead here. Again, click on the gray. I'm going to slide this over so the left side matches up right there. Whoops. Right there. Till I saw that line. Did you see that line? So let me zoom in a little more. Command plus. And so I want this line, I'm going to slide this over to here, and that's going to be even with that marker. So again, make sure you click on the gray area above. If you don't and you do something else, hit undo until you see it come back. I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to drag the left. Watch the left side of this thing, and it's going to hit right there. Right there. See that line? I'm going to let go because now that line is lined up with the marker. All right. Then this line, I'm going to stretch this over to there. I think I have to zoom in till I see this part. Click this, and it's going to drag. I'm going to drag this. You have to get the arrow right in between those till you see those little, looks like a little Black Widow sign, it kind of looks like this. But you click in the middle, and then you can drag the length. And I want to go right here because that is the end of my, oh my gosh, Chad. Oh my gosh, I forgot his name. Oh, Chadwick. Okay. All right. So now I've got this. I'm going to double click this and I'm going to change it to, instead of Robert Downey Jr., I'm going to have this copied. Chadwick Boseman. I'm going to copy. I'm going to come back over here. Click. Make sure this one's selected. I'm going to click Robert Downey Jr. in my inspector and paste Chadwick Boseman. And now it's in the right spot. It's got the right drop shadow and everything else, and it has the right transition. I'm going to turn the snapping off so you can see it transition. Here's Robert Downey Jr., and it's going to fade out and fade in with Chadwick Boseman, like that. Just like that. And we're going to continue this. So I'm going to come over here. I am going to zoom out a little bit. Click on the gray. Option drag off to the side for a sec. Then I'm going to click the gray area again, and I'm going to get the left side to slam up against that with the snapping on. So make sure snapping is on, and it's going to go right there, and I'm going to wait. Yeah, just like that. And I do have to zoom in a little bit till I see that. So Command plus right there till I see this. And I want it to be right here at the end of that one. I'm going to click right in the middle and drag until till the outside is right even with that marker and the end of my clip. And this one is Elizabeth Olsen. I have the name right here. I could copy this name, but since I already have it here, I'm going to come over here, copy, Command C, come back over here, click on this, look at the name that's in the inspector. Make sure, if you can't see the name, make sure you're looking at this part. It looks like a paragraph. I'm going to delete that, paste Elizabeth Olsen, and don't hit enter or anything. You'll add new lines. But now this is Elizabeth Olsen, and snapping will be off for a second, and you'll see the transition from Chadwick to Elizabeth Olsen. And I'm going to Shift Z to make it all fit, and it should look like that. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing over on the next group, and that starts somewhere right around here. I may have to turn friends back on, so let me do this. I'll turn snapping on. I've got to hide this with V, turn this one back on with V. Make sure I know right there is where it starts. So I'm going to skip over 3 of them. And I'm going to click right here and option drag to right there, like that. And I'm actually going to do another couple option drags. I'm just going to drag them off to the side a little bit and option drag over here a little bit. So they're just over here. I'm going to get on this one and Command plus to zoom in. I know I'm going to need to see the sidebars anyway, or whatever those are called. Command plus to where I see this, and I know it needs to end right here. This is, oh my gosh, turn that one off for a sec. Matt LeBlanc, right, and it's going to end right there. So I'm going to click here, snapping is on, I'm going to click on right in between those 2 little triangles and drag it right there until the right side lines up with the next. So these 3 chunks are Matt LeBlanc. Oh, actually, who are they? Let me turn this on, visible, this one, invisible. This is Sebastian Stan. So I'm going to come over here, get Sebastian Stan, copy his name, click on this, make it visible. Not Elizabeth Olsen, but Sebastian Stan, paste. There's Sebastian Stan now. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to take this one and slide it over next. Who's my other one? Let me see, turn this back on. Chris Evans. So right here, I'll click on this one for Chris Evans. I'll come over here, copy his name. Oh, I've got them in order too. These are the right order. I should have paid attention. I copied, come over here, click on this one, change it from Elizabeth Olsen to Chris Evans. And now you'll see Chris Evans is there. I'll scroll to the right. He's going to be in 3 of them. this one right there, and I'm going to make sure I drag this out to the edge of that. So click here, right like that, and this is Chris Evans. And I've already got another one here. Who's my last one? Anthony Mackie. So I come over here, I'm going to click on the gray. Make sure you click on the gray. Slide it over till it hits right on the end there, and you see that line show up. And I'm going to come and copy Anthony Mackie. Copy. Click on this in the inspector. Change it from Elizabeth Olsen to Anthony Mackie. If there's an extra line there, backspace over the top of it. You don't want to have extra lines because it will actually change what it looks like. So make sure it's only one line there. And there it is. I'm now going to make this, it has to cover here, here, and here. Let me turn these three on. Make them visible. Anthony Mackie, Falcon. Click right in between, right there. Make sure your cursor looks like that. Click and drag over to here, and it should snap. All right, so now I've got Anthony Mackie. I'll turn my snapping off so you can see. Now I go from Chris Evans is fading out right here. Nothing should be there, but within one frame, Anthony Mackie comes on, and he stays there for all three clips that I've got for him. All right, and I'm going to stop this video for this. I'm going to get all this back the way it was. Not the way it was, but I'm going to make those visible. This can stay invisible, and I'm going to scrub over it just to kind of make sure. I'm actually going to click that and hit spacebar play. I think it's looking pretty good. And spacebar to stop. And that's good for the characters. Okay, I'll make another video for the opening credits, the opening title and the end credits.